Hi. Apparently, you can do lifestyle choices in the time that it takes to do that theme song, but you get a mouthful of liquid. Oh, well.
That you do. That you do. Before we get going, I want to go ahead and start off and just let everybody know our guest, Sean Hockley, was feeling horribly sick this morning and was not able to do the show. We just certainly hope that he gets better soon.
Hope the gut feels better. Maybe it's in the chesticular area. I don't know. Head cold, they're the worst. Yes, Sean, we're hoping you do well. And yes, folks, I invited myself on. Charles changed the thumbnail about 16 minutes ago, and I went, uh-oh. And I'm like, are you just talking to yourself? Like, I was curious. He's good. So, Charles, how's your guitar journey start? Well, Charles, I don't know. Is he doing 2 cams? I don't know. So, to help him out, I said, hi, everybody.
See, yes, I know I misspelled Charles75N.
Oh, you did too. Look at that.
Yeah, it was intentional.
Yeah, it should be an E, right? That's okay. I did 2 weeks ago, Sunday Night Hang. I forgot the I in night. Nobody even mentioned it, and I noticed it the next day. And I wasn't even home. I was like looking at YouTube Studio on my phone when I was out doing errands. I'm like, crap, and I can't even fix that from here. So that was when you get home, remember to fix the thumbnail. When you get home, that's like trying to remember toilet paper. You don't need it till you need it.
Love it.
Yeah.
So you want to take roll?
Oh, sure. I'll do roll. I'm gonna start from the bottom. We'll work our way to the top. Because it's Helter Skelter style. So that means when I think Helter Skelter, I think Michael Krause.
Of course.
We got Michael Krause in the house because he's never heard that in his life. Blackjack guitar, hip metal works from the West Coast, which is the best coast, especially this time of year. I'm hanging in my car, and my wife is in a sewing and fabric store. Charles is probably jealous. Yes. Quite. John, ZD351 in the house from lovely Melbourne. We've got Bo, Guitar Man 45. We got our musical Ryan Hall, y'all. I don't care if the other weather dude uses the y'all. I've commandeered it because he is Ryan Hall, y'all. Good morning to John Duchesne, last week's guest here on Chatting with Charles, which was a lot of fun up until you asked him to play, and he went, no. Not even a gracious, I'm not set up for, an excuse, just no. All right, fine. Herb of Fireside Studio, who put out a long video under recommendation of Charles on Friday, and part 2 coming out next week. It's a 3-part series. I'm just saying.
It's pretty darn good.
Wayne McConnell, who I found out is also a BC boy. He's from Kelowna, don't you know?
Oh.
And if you're like, where's Kelowna? Look it up on a map. Everyone's got the handheld digitals. Just type in Kelowna. 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 All right. Anywho's, and House. Oh, they're all talking to each other. We got co-host of Guitar Safari. Not this guy. We got Presley California Custom, Seth, who I don't know. He sent me a tracking number, Charles. According to the Canadian Post, they're like, nope, still in America. And according to the American Post, they're like, no, it's in Toronto. That sounds like they've lost it, and they're both like, the other guy has it. I don't have it. The other guy has it. So hopefully it'll be here soon. Jimmy Slater is here. I love Jimmy. Jimmy's a great player. Ryan OU812, not a great. No, he's a great player.
Wow.
Who else we have? Music Therapy Laz, who's letting us know there is no show today because he's back. He's having fun at NAMM. We got Martin of the L&M Guitar Corner, who was on. Was that this Thursday that happened, or was that last Thursday? They did a live stream. That was last Thursday, Ben.
That was last Thursday. They had one.
Wow, I somehow lost a week. That's fine. That's fine. Got them. Sorry. Devil's. Okay, that's right. Because Charles won't do it. Devil's Horns, Alien Head, Rob Blackmore official.
Let's see how it is.
Great name. Never tag him in the chat. And then StreamYard. All right, let's go down the bottom. Hobo Roadie is here. Good morning. BC Rich 581, but number 1 in our hearts. He started putting out content too.
Yeah, that was a great video. Can't wait to see more.
Oh, no kidding. Well, and I like it because it comes from the wily veteran, not like oh, I just got this thing in the mail. I don't know if it works. He's like, put it on there in 1985. Had to adjust it. You know, you're like, perfect. You know, Bonkers is here. The Evil Brown Empire lost all of Bo's packages.
Oh, wow.
Wayne says it's 4 degrees and rain. I got the 4 degrees. It's not raining yet. But I was going to go grocery shopping after this. We'll see. Had some yeah, exactly, Michael Krause. Use the Postal Service because we don't lose it. Charles, what happens? We lose it. Right?
Yeah.
So. Oh, cool.
I tell you.
BC Rich is working on one later.
Okay.
I would. I can only cross fingers on this hand. I can't anymore on this hand.
Got him ready to go.
Not an option. Eddie Fay in the house.
There he is.
There we are. I think I'm caught up. So, oh no, Mark's gas station. Actually, it's Mark's GAS station. Well, he's only been following me for years, and that's the first time I've actually said his name correctly.
Well, yeah. Every day's an opportunity to get it right.
Well, yeah. Nope. Maybe tomorrow. Now, Ryan is trolling because he's like, should have used UPS. No, nobody should ever use UPS. Ever. Whose show is this? It's Chatting with Charles. I'm chatting with Charles, John. So, with guest Charles75N, which actually technically is different. See, this is Chatting with Charles with an E, and he's interviewing Charles without an E. So,
see, I knew that's how you pronounce it. See,
it's Charles. It's more of a New England thing. He's getting back to his Connecticut roots. Which is Connecticut here? I got a question. Is Connecticut part of New England?
Yes.
Is New York part of New England?
Yes.
Okay. I was curious about that because it doesn't seem like New Yorkers don't embrace the New England side of things. They're like easy.
Well, they think they're special, so
Yeah. I love you too, John.
It's just like Maine, right? If you ask Maine if they're part of New England, they're
like,
but
we're like Inuit. I get it. It's up there.
I like to do the whole thing.
So now that we're completely off track, we're 8 minutes in. That's fine. I have a question. So how did you start your guitar journey, Charles? It's a question I'd like to ask all my guests. Actually,
do you now?
It's not.
Well, okay, so here's how it lays out. As a kid, I played clarinet and bass clarinet in the band, and moving into 8th grade, we had the section of our music class that was acoustic guitar. And a fella had always wanted to play acoustic guitar. So, you get there, you're in a room full of 30 people. They have 5 guitars. So, half-hour class. How much do you think you get to touch an actual guitar, right? And so I wanted to learn to play guitar.
You know what my father is? And they're like, yeah, we know. Describe the guitar band. Sorry.
But so there wasn't a lot of opportunity with that. I was already kind of lucked out with instruments because my parents had already bought me the clarinet, right? So my grandparents bought my clarinet. And so, and 3 other brothers. So there wasn't a lot of more instrument buying,
Sounds like barbershop quartet on the cheap.
Right. So we're not getting a guitar, but so I asked for a guitar in, I think, freshman year of high school. I get this white Les Paul knockoff thing for Christmas. Parents did the best they could, right?
Sure.
But I'll give you
not like a Gene Autry guitar based off of your parents' listening habits. And,
there you go.
I'm just saying.
Well, a fellow was expecting a Stratocaster shaped object.
Well, I get it. You want to be Hendrix.
And so
sorry to interrupt again, but we've got Stephen Monticelli in the house. He's in and out because he skipped breakfast, so he's making a snack. That's fine. And Brother Tom, he says New York is mid-Atlantic, Charles. And a lot of people are saying New York is not New England, which I was like, really? Because it's right next to Connecticut. Is that
Pennsylvania, not part of New England.
Pennsylvania, definitely not. No. Okay. Oh, and Terry's 3Gs. Forgot.
Yeah.
And so this is 2 days in a row that I've seen Brother Tom in chat. So I'm happy.
That's a good sign. Very good sign.
I forgot to text him, and I was going to text him, but I forgot. And also Ryan is here just to hear the rest of last night's trivia questions from Tony's show. We got through them all. Surprisingly. I didn't think we were going to, but we did. Vox Guitar rocks. So
Hey there, buddy.
Although it's Vox Guitar Rock or Vox Guitars Rock, which I don't know about that, buddy. They do a thing, but I'm not sure if they actually rock. And they're like, really? Because Brian Jones played one in the Stones. All right, easy. All right, so they rock. The Teardrops. I think Jeff Beck played one too, so they must rock. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's one of my many acting roles, Terry. I grew a beard, during the making of this video. No, I didn't. No, that's this guy. So much wet sanding. He grows a beard. If you've seen the time lapse, just see it coming out of his cheeks. But,
my.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So you played a variety of woodwind instruments.
Right. So we played clarinet, we played bass clarinet, we played all 4 saxophones.
That's like saying, I play guitar and baritone guitar. Easy with your bass clarinet. Is the fingering the same or different, Charles?
It is the same.
Then it's the same guitar.
With the additional, but there is an additional key. But your embouchure changes quite a bit because it's a much bigger mouthpiece.
That's what she said. That's not what she said at all. Charles loves what Paul McNary and the cats.
There you go.
Well, I get it. 12 minutes late. Took him that long to herd the cats. Yeah. Really, he's usually in your chat early, but that's because he stopped herding the cats half an hour before the show started. So we had a Lester Pulphus shaped object, likely made in Japan, possibly bolt-on neck.
Oh, I don't even know that it was made in Japan because here's the really interesting thing.
Did it have Gibson on the headstock?
No, it did not.
And it was made in Japan.
And it definitely wasn't American made. But to give you the idea of the quality of this thing, so picture
or lack thereof,
white Les Paul shaped object.
Yep.
Okay, chrome hardware.
Of course.
Black pick guard.
Yep.
And this about 6-inch speaker in the body.
Oh, one of those.
One of those.
Definitely made in Japan. Definitely.
And so I remember the thing I remember it the most about it. It was the most uncomfortable thing to play. Right. And this is not, keep in mind, not knowing anything about guitars at all.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not a real pleasant experience.
No.
And so we kind of, and I was one of those guys growing up to where, the band director would just give me a chord chart and say, okay, learn how to play this. And so that was how I went from instrument to instrument. I played whatever they needed. And but guitar was one of those things where I just simply couldn't get. And so eventually it got put back in its case. It got slid underneath the bed. And I didn't think about it for too much. And so, I graduate high school, I go into the Army. And the year that I got married in 92, my wife and I, we move out of the barracks. We move into married housing.
I mean, I'm shocked you got married the year I graduated high school. You're so far ahead of me. He's like, in a lot of ways in life, Ben. Easy. Okay. Anywho's. And Scott leaving. He's like, where's Sean? Sean is sick. I'm sorry. I get it if you leave, but don't leave.
Yeah. We're going to reschedule Sean as soon as it's convenient for him. Yeah. So
and Dave Chase in the house.
Hey, Dave. Big wave Dave in the house.
And Seth did. I like that because I felt like I was in the tunnel with Seth. That's what they call the wave, folks.
So we we move into married housing, and I figure, okay, here's the next opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. So back in 92,
married housing. I don't know.
Well, we moved to married housing. Now I got some space, right? I got some room to move around. I don't have to worry about being in a room with 4 other, roommates and my stuff getting messed up and disappearing and whatever.
Right.
And
ne'er-do-wells.
So, I go to the old standby in 92, the Sears catalog.
Oh, all right. Yeah. All right.
Because that's what was available. And a fella orders himself a Dreadnought guitar out of the Sears catalog.
Where in the world were you based at this time?
Germany.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I was like, if you said, I was stationed in Austin, F you, there's a music store in Austin.
Yes.
No Sears catalog. However, in Germany, I don't know. Like I don't know what the status of mom and pop. I don't even know if Thomann was open yet. Right? So
but it wasn't anything I had heard of, and we used to go spend a lot of time in our downtown, and I hadn't found a music shop. So,
Fair enough.
okay, so so I'm looking through the Sears catalog, and a fellow orders himself a Dreadnought guitar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this would be great.
This be
So I wait for it, and I wait for it, and I wait for it, and it shows up.
mm-hmm.
And I open the box. The whole back of the guitar is blown out.
Of course it is.
Of course.
His friends don't let friends ship acoustics without cases.
Right. And so, of course, this is 92. You're not going to sit there and get on the internet and complain to Sears. And I'm over in Germany. This is, the phone call alone would cost me
as much
what
as
I paid in it.
Yeah.
So here's what we did. We take the guitar, we put it back in the box, we put the box in the cloak closet, and it stays there. And when we moved out of the apartment, we left it there.
For me here, folks, of reboxing and storage.
And so kind of forgot about after that experience. It was like, okay, kind of forgot about it.
Right.
Moved on. And then didn't think anything more about guitar until I hit 50. Because I hit 50 and there were a bunch of things kind of going on in my life, some good, some bad. And I was looking around, so I was like,
fast.
What are some things that, what do I regret not doing?
Right.
Right. Because now I got a little bit of time back to myself.
You do.
I can do some things. I've got, a little bit of money. I could do, and so, the one thing I would regret would be that if I never played guitar, because I always wanted to, and then got it. And so, that's really the real beginning of my guitar journey, right?
Coin toss, guitar and motorcycle, and guitar's only slightly less dangerous.
Well, this is true. So, so it's the first guitar we ended up getting was our number one Aspire, and this is the one that we had put 18-to-1 locking tuners on it. We put Mexican pickups from the Mexican track on it. It's got Jimi Hendrix wiring set in it.
Nice.
And so this was after, because when I decided to go ahead and pick up guitar, where I went. I got on YouTube and I typed in guitar and Phil McKnight comes up.
Well, that's what happens. Also, I'm going to jump in here briefly, only because I saw a couple of lines here.
All right.
Bent Tom sets the record. Sorry, can't reply to everyone. Checking my IV antibiotic. Pretty sure I've never seen that in the chat before.
No.
Usually, most people that are using the needles, it's not antibiotics. That's lifestyle choices. But that's okay. Michael Krause probably trolls. Who would buy a guitar with a speaker in it? Or does anyone here own a guitar with a built-in speaker? I'll admit I do. All right, that's a big admit. That's almost like this guy, doing take this job and shove it on stage, dancing karaoke style. We don't talk about that anymore. And then and I just wanted to get. Here we go.
To answer Herb's question in chat,
well, all right, so there we go.
So to answer Herb's question in chat, no, I didn't marry a Fraulein. My wife was in the Army, so my wife is Mexican American, and so we met each other there. Got married back here in Texas, went back to Germany.
Yes, here we go. And Bo just points out, you do know, like, Musician's Friend was around in 92. Gave everyone a choice to move on. Chris Woolworth and Sears. Okay. That's Kresge's. Kmart. Sure. And
that's true. But it wasn't in the scene. I wasn't
he's saying, that's Musician's Friend. But I saw Samuel L. Jackson. I said, motherfucker wouldn't deliver to Germany. No. But it's Musician's Friend. Yeah. Because I thought of that meme. As soon as I saw MF, I thought of the meme I sent you, Charles. I saw that look. Trip to Germany, which was great. So Eddie asked, did you know anyone in the U.S. Army with you that played guitar and get their input?
There was no one at the time that I knew, right? So
it'd be funny if Phil was in the Army at the same time you were in the Army.
It would be. It'd be
some more.
But he was in the Army a little bit after me. I might have still been.
Not like we all know each other. That's like assuming us Canadians all know each other, which we kind of do, but we don't tell anybody that. Oh, my friend Bert was in the Army. Do you know him? No, because Charles was in the U.S. Army in Germany, and Bert was in South Korea. No, we didn't talk. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I didn't have any buddies that were, on base with me that played guitar. And which was interesting because I was at division headquarters and the division band was there, right? So, of course, I knew all the folks that played woodwind instruments and, so it didn't help.
Well, there we are. The more you know, I can't do the GIF. I don't have it. It's not my channel. La, 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 la. It's interesting. I don't have the option to go live on my channel. Share this on your channel. I had that last night on Fruitcake's channel. Don't have that on Charles. Probably because he's already set up. He's in cahoots with Seth. That's why. Can't share it. I don't know. Elvis was in the army at the same time as Charles. Charles isn't that old, John. Easy now. I know. Now, I will say the man, he doesn't look older than me. But he's like, yeah, I don't do half the lifestyle choices. This is true. Charles, you tell proof of living a clean-ish life. I'm not saying he's a choir boy, but I'm saying, like I was shocked. Like I thought the 75 was the year of the birth of him. He's like, no, it's not. I went, oh, because I thought I had a year on Charles. And it turns out Charles has a couple years on me, at least.
Just a couple. Well, the interesting thing about Elvis, there is a connection there. Elvis, when he was in the Army in Germany, he was in the 1st Armored Division. Mm-hmm. Okay. When I first got to Germany, I was in the 8th Infantry Division. But my unit deflagged and we reflagged as the 1st Armored. We took on half of their units. We took on their units that were staying active. We did some strategic moving around, and we became the 1st Armored Division. So you could say I was in the same unit as Elvis in the Army.
Okay.
No,
I thought you were stationed on the same base, but
no, that wouldn't be true.
No, because we got to have several bases in foreign countries. Sure. I don't know. We did too. Canada
a little bit of blackjack.
Yeah. So, Cushman's here apparently. I'm assuming because I see people talk. Oh, there he is. I saw people talking to him, but I didn't actually see him.
Hey, Cush.
That's how I catch it half the time, Charles. Yeah, that's the nice thing. Our friends are so sociable in here that if you miss somebody jumping in, it's okay because you got 16 people saying, "Hey, where's Ferd?" By the way, I just realized we're missing our Grand Poobah. Where's Ferd?
Ferd is usually here, but he if he can't be because he's got something going on, he will always hit the replay. Always.
He will. All right.
So hello, Ferd.
I just realized, I got a lack of a Ferd in here. So you got a Squire Strat at age 50, midlife crisis as well. Charles is playing on a limb to be 100. That's why the midlife is at 50 and up. Like the guy joining a metal band at age 39. Let's not get into that. Easy. I didn't buy a Corvette, Charles. Well, I couldn't even afford a Chevette. So a vet's a vet. So then, so you discovered Phil McKnight. So then I'm guessing as such, then you discovered the Know Your Gear podcast, which then led to discover. You're like, holy crap, there's a whole bunch of other people like me.
Exactly.
And, which is the YouTube guitar community that we're all a part of. Well, unless you're silent, because you might be part and not. You gotta, for me personally, to be part of the YouTube guitar community, Charles, you got to produce content or be very active in chats, multiple chats. Like you got to be known, let's say, by others. It's like you say, name 10 members of the guitar community. All right, and chances are, if someone's going to mention, half the names might be creators, and the other half are residents of the chat.
Well, and those are the most important people in this community. Those folks that are in the chat and making those comments and making
they drive the algorithms. Yeah. They, like as a content creator, it's like the old thing. The bands always say, "Oh, we'd be nothing without our fans." Well, yeah, because it's kind of like being in a band back in the day. Like you buy the records, you're supporting the band. You're going out to the shows. Like that's how they get an income. And, it's like you watch the ads and whatever, and support your favorite channels and stuff, and that really helps. So then I can say I'm a social media influencer. Really, you're not 22. There's Josh. Oh yeah, and John was saying, "Who shat in my cornflakes this morning?" For me making fun of everyone's names. Don't get me started on names, John.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Oh, but no, it's you're right though. I mean, I found Phil and I started watching all the other channels.
Phil's a gateway channel. Phil's
Right.
a gateway channel.
He leads you to everybody else, and so one day I'm sitting there and I'm of course, I'm on YouTube and I'm looking at lessons and how to play your first.
You were always multitasking. Like the amount of time you watch a show, you watch. Everyone's looking at the camera. Charles is off. Like why? Because he's shopping Goodwill. I know it.
Always doing something, but I figure but I'm slowly doing things right, and I'm picking it up, and and my guitar journey in terms of playing has been really slow, but it's been it's slow and steady. I'm getting there, right? And so one day I'm sitting there and I'm in Phil's chat, and Ben's of course been moderating the whole time, and early on in watching YouTube, I didn't really realize that the people in the chat might have a channel.
Right.
It did not occur to me.
Well, it also now only moderators can do it. But it used to be you had those 3 dots, where you click on a name in the chat, which now it's like hide or report. That's all you have. As let's say,
right.
It used to be go to channel.
Exactly.
Option, and it would open in a new tab, and there's Buddy's channel, and you click subscribe, and and then they got rid of that because. The reason they got rid of that, Charles, is because they don't want everybody. I don't want to mess with the algorithms. Following fellow followers, we'll call it, because all of a sudden, then everybody has 1,000 subscribers and they can all monetize their channels, and that YouTube doesn't want that because then YouTube has to actually pay you for the ads they put on your videos. Charles knows because Charles has seen his own videos with ads on them, and Charles isn't monetized. Where's the money going, Google? Where's the money going, Google? Where's the money going, Google?
There should be a rule that when you do monetize, they pay you all the back at Reddit.
That's right. Yeah.
Why not? But no, I'm sitting here, I'm in the chat, and he says, "Oh yeah, Ben's got a channel." I was like, "Oh, Ben is, and so I go check it out, and I love the channel.
It's weird that way, depending on where you meet me, Charles. Like some people know me as a content creator. Some people know me as a moderator, and some people know me as just a dude from the chat. They're like, "Oh, you got a channel?" Yes, I do. Yeah, but if you don't know, you don't know. Because
see, that was the thing that it seemed like I would follow you around the chats all day long. I but I'd go someplace, you'd be there, right? And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so we would, I would kind of, it was a long time before I really started chatting in the chats. I kind of hung out in the background and then began talking. And then when I found your channel, I began watching I worked my way through every video because I really liked what was going on there. And so when we got to the point where I got that SG from Scar My Guitars channel and it was broken, right? And he said, "Well, can you make a video to show me?" Because he wanted to see what happened. And I shared that video with you, remember?
No, I'm just laughing Martin's comment, and some think they know us as a store.
I love it.
I'm wearing my L&M guitar. Well, I don't mean to give you the finger, but I'm wearing my L&M guitar corner too.
But the whole thing was, then I went here, and most of the folks that I know in the community now are a result from there were people that I found on your channel, right? And so all of us little smaller channels seem to all kind of come off the Ben Coombs channel. Right?
Well, I get it because you see one of my videos like anybody can do that.
No, it wasn't. It's the positiveness of your channel, right? Wow. Because there were a lot of channels that have that negative tone. They need to feel like they need to say everything's crap, or rag on other channels, or whatever the case may be. And that's not what's going on in this section.
Well, I'll be negative on certain things. Like, oh no, I'll do a rant, just like the next guy. But I'm all about lifting each other up too. It's like the big misconception about punk rock. People used to see punk rock and it was very exclusive. Like, oh, look at these punkers. Blah, blah. No, nothing could be more inclusive. like what include like the real punk rock community. It was very inclusive. You know, we don't care, you know, who you are, what you look like, how well you play. You know, so exactly anybody can do it, Eddie. You know, especially, you know, like let's be honest, I've been doing YouTube 6 years. I still record everything on a phone. You know, like I'm not digital friendly. I don't have interfaces and doodads and gimmicks. Well, I got some gimmicks. I have to have gimmicks to rely on because I don't have talent. And then I find after about 300 videos, you start to find your voice. Mm-hmm. And, you know, although Charles has gone right into it, but I get it because he goes into like teacher mode at times. Teacher mode / NASCAR team. Because I love how Charles always talks in the plural. We are doing this. We're going to have a great season. I was like, all right, that's cool. And I love it. And, you know, that's how I know when Charles is talking business because, you know, it's we. It's never I. And that's because also Charles always says, you know, he tags his videos right between he's cursing in the outtakes and stuff. By the way, folks, everybody should watch the end of Charles's videos for the outtakes. But he's always like, thank you for being part of my guitar journey because he takes you along for the ride. And that's what we do. And, you know, he has a problem. I know if a guitar contains skulls on it, he automatically calls it a Telecaster. But yeah.
Oh, it was so funny in doing that video. I literally could have had 15 minutes of me saying Telecaster.
Oh, I bet. Skelecaster. I like that, Terry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Skullacaster.
I can't even tell you how many pieces of video that just.
Well, I caught you saying Telly in the video. And I'm like, no, I know what he means. And I'm like, he's done it twice at least. And all I kept thinking was I went to, you know, because Charles and I, we'll point out a flaw in a video, you know, in a comment and stuff. But not too harsh. Those, we save the harsh ones for text, like, oh, dumbass, you spelled your name wrong. You know, we won't say that in the comments. We'll text each other that stuff. But and then when I saw the outtakes, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't comment on him calling it a Telecaster because I knew Charles is like, I spent 14 hours editing the dang thing, you know, and you can tell it was a hell of a video because he grew a beard throughout the video. Like, it's not a quick process or process. So,
hey, Marcia Murray.
Marcia Murray in the house.
The hell Telecaster.
Scratch and sniff Smellocaster.
Oh my!
Smells like burnt diodes.
Know about that one?
Oh yeah.
But no, it's funny. You get doing these things, and I never intended to have channel. Right? Never. Right. It was not anywhere within it. This was just about. I was going to go ahead and.
You were documenting a flaw in the guitar, and then. And I remember too, like you were, you know, and not, you know, you were just a guy in the chat type thing. You know, you were part of the community, but you were just a guy in the chat, you know. And then I remember, and you're like, you started doing the Epi. I'm trying to point your Epi Junior. I don't know how that's going to work out. It's on your screen. And Charles is in the chat, and Charles was a regular in the chat, and he'd have some, you know, great one-liners. We all liked Charles. You know, Charles was a great guy, and he started building that thing, and he's like, think about doing fabric wrap. And immediately I'm like, yes, because there's not enough fabric guitars in the world. Mm-hmm. Which I don't even know how they got called fabric top when they used wallpaper, unless it was fabric wallpaper. Could have been. Okay, I think I just answered my own question. Anyways, Charles started, and he's like, I'm doing this junior. What should I snag into it for a pickup? And I'm like, nobody's done a Filtertron. And so he did, and I was like, "Well, now you got to make a video so I can hear the dang thing." And I don't even think you documented the building of that guitar as much as you just did a video on the guitar. Am I correct?
No, we did a video on the building of it.
We did again. See that, folks?
We did, and it is up on the channel. Okay. It was us two different videos, right?
Yeah.
And but we did that, and then there is a third video of playing it, which is the one you requested.
Right. Yeah, I need a tone test. I'm listening to it on my phone or my laptop speakers. Tone test. Bo's bringing up some interesting comments. He says he came across me about 4 or 5 years ago. Wrong. Over 6. Because Bo was like right there from the start. I remember. We're close to it. Also, he's mentioned, there's a lot of chatters that aren't around anymore. See, now that's the thing. Like, I swear, Charles, if people just retained, like, even if you're getting out of guitar playing, just stay sub to me. Because you always gain 2, lose 1. Gain 2, lose 1. And you'll notice that. Like, the chat is very fluid. That 30% of the chat changes every 6 months.
Right. For sure.
But we don't notice it because we have, like, the core that, like, everyone here that have been around for quite a while. But people come and people go. Exactly. No. Yes. Maybe. So in essence, it's all Ben's fault. Yes, Herb. It is all my fault. Because again, they saw it. I could do this. I also want to mention tonight I have Ryan Hall joining me. Of course, Charles had to comment last night when Tony. I was on Fruitcake Tony's channel last night. That was a lot of fun. And he says, "Who you got on tomorrow night, man?" That's my Fruitcake Tony, North Carolina accent. I said, "I got Ryan Hall, y'all." And then Charles me, I had him first. I'm like, easy. Easy. You're making it sound like sloppy seconds, and we're not going there. So easy. Charles has had a few people, but and then I'm like, that's it. I'm calling you out. That was my idea. Because I was like, I like Ryan, but Ryan's a bit of a wild card. We love Ryan. He could be a bit. I'm like, how about you have Muncher first, Charles? See how that goes. Then we'll bring up Big Show. It's like, I don't know. Well, it was good though, and then it was so good that and Charles got all.
I love how you just called me your farm channel.
Well, you're the farm team, yeah. Local affiliate. We'll try it in a smaller market first, and then we'll, But it was holy crap! Like I was like, Rick Beato, who? Because for a 1-hour sit-down interview, it was amazing because the story's the same, Charles. You've watched enough behind the musics and stuff over the years. Like I say, guy grows up, guy snags on a guitar. Easy there, Trev. Easy. If you woke up on time, you would have known. He's sick. He's not doing well. He's death's door, if you will. He's not at death's door.
No.
But like guy learns how to play guitar. We start making racket in the garage.
Yeah.
We get a record deal. We go on to whatever. It's all the same story. Just how far did we go? For the most part. What's up, Janice? And so it's like we got to hear the story. Like the early years. Because think about it. If you're watching an interview, let's say I don't know Andy Summers, Charles, it's going to get to a certain point, and it's like, and then we got signed and famous. Okay, so that's there. But everything prior to that, we all have that exact same story. Is how far along we get, how many chapters we get. Did we make it out of the garage into the clubs? Did we make it out of the clubs into the theaters? Did we get a record deal? John says, I remember being surprised when I saw Ben sub count, as I thought he had 50 to 100K. So he was known by everyone and hanging with I've always punched above my weight, well above my weight, because not now, but back then, yes. Great to see Trevin here too. Yeah, Charles is a great guest. That's why I have him on every once in a while on the channel.
But no, this whole thing, the whole thing has been a lot of fun because I never thought, like I said, never set out to have a channel, and so we did the epi there, and then you were full enough to have me on a hang, and
and then it went right to his head. Now he's got 2 live streams a week, and no, it's great, because I like forwarding, what I can, pay it forward where I can. And, so when Charles was starting up things, he's like, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I was more than happy to pass along the information that I've was given over the years from fellow YouTubers, and like Charles, I've been very fortunate. I said years ago, I'm living the dream, because anyone that lives in a small town, right, Charles, you're like, I'm never going to meet these. I'm never. It's dreaming. You know, you open up Guitar World magazine, 30 years ago. You're not looking at people. You're like, I'm going to meet these people. They're going to know who I am. No. Well, he is. He is. Charles Talks, actually, yes. In Austin City Limits, which is really, really filmed right behind those double doors behind Charles.
That is true.
One goes to Studio A, one goes to the control booth.
Definitely.
But yeah, I love watching channels grow and this and that, and
Well, and I think that's the one thing that all the channels that have come off your channel have that same positive vibe. There are channels that I'm still really small, but there are other channels that I've helped too. Kind of there are some guys that rely on me for some advice, and I got to know,
like say, and others are doing the slow and steady, like I did,
and some just take off, and it's you got to love Martin and Luke's Guitar Corner. I mean, how could you not?
It was so funny. Watching the first episode or one of their first episodes, I turned it on and they're like, "Hey, is this thing on?" Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I know how that feels. And then I'm watching two dudes sitting on stools reading the chat off their phone, and I'm like, where have I seen this before? And it took me back to early days of Canucks with Guitars when I had a co-host, Richie, in the room with me, and I'd read the chat off my phone. And it was the same thing, but with Austrian accents, Charles. And it was like watching where they syndicate a TV show overseas, and rather than just overdub it, they just reshoot the whole, they have the same scripts and they just reshoot them in another country, different actors and different languages. And I was just like, this is awesome. And I remember showing it to I said to Rich, I'm like, it's awesome with accents. And he's like, it is.
You have to love that.
Yep. What's up, Laz? Laz helped me he said, Ben helped me get connected with so many people. I try, as like you say. Not necessarily my Rolodex isn't necessarily your Rolodex, but, because certain people are more private than others, and so I'm not just willy-nilly going to give out contact information, but if I can, and, Charles is like, hey, is Laz? Can you get me in touch with Laz? So I'll reach out to Laz and I'll say, hey, that Charles75N guy? He's like, yeah. Well, he'd like your contact email. Is that okay? Yeah. Perfect.
And and that's the thing. You sit here, we all, if we in this community, it's nice like that. We all help each other out in the circle that we all.
Well, part of that is I try, Charles, not to interrupt, but I try to help it because I notice the algorithms isn't what it used to be.
Right.
Like in the early days, having started, because I have the NASCAR channel, so I know, like, let's be honest, NASCAR is just as popular as guitar playing, in many ways. But I've had the channel for years, and it's at 72 subs, Charles, is what I'm saying. Because YouTube doesn't promote the small channels like they used to. And I got right in at the end of that. I know, I was lucky right at the end of that. So someone's got to help with the leg up. And like Bo said, you're not a small channel. You just don't have, you've got the community. And I said that to Charles from day one. He starts a show off, and within a month or two, he's got 30 people in his chat. I was like, I know people that had channels for years that don't get 30 people in their chat.
Yeah, so. and that kind of amazes me that there is the traffic that there is on the two shows, right? And when I look at my channel analytics, the folks that are subbed to my channel are loyally watching the videos. They're loyally watching the live streams. They come every time. So even though I have a smaller subscriber count, we're doing things that tend to be, if you have.
And I like the fact that you don't make everybody watch everything, which is to say your Friday show isn't a recap of the content you put out this week. So
right.
I can watch your live show if I've missed the other stuff. And it's not like I don't know what they're talking about because you're talking about literally just your own content from earlier in the week, which some people will do. Which I get, because you're going to have follow-up questions and stuff. I'm just here for the free t-shirt too, Herb. I've been on this channel. I don't know how many times. I don't have a flipping t-shirt. I don't know. I'm good.
No, but you do have a fabric top guitar.
I do have a fabric top guitar. I do. See you, Laz. And I have a sparkling guitar on the way, apparently. Although we don't know. They're playing hot potato with it. U.S. Postal Service says Canada Post has it. Canada Post says, no, we don't. So I don't know. Vox Guitars Rock
it could be on the porch. You might want to look.
Walking the dog. That's true. No,
you have a history of not being able to find packages on the porch.
Yeah, but I have a fix for that this time of year, Charles. I just don't shovel the walkway or the steps up to the front walk, so they have to leave in front of the garage door that I go in and out of.
I see.
Yeah, which is like I found the last package from Bruce, who's not here either. Where's Bruce? Where it's below zero and it's got batteries in it and it's sitting in a snowdrift. And I'm like, that batteries don't like sitting in snowdrifts.
No, they
don't. He's easy on the eyes. Did I just say that?
Oh my!
I did. I don't know.
So Terry says, "Yeah, that's me. Don't have the watch time or the subs to get the golden ticket, even though he's been around." And folks in the chats and subs. In fact, you don't put out content. You know, that's the thing. You just got to keep working at it, and you grow a little bit. And then I'm okay with that because I know that if I put something out, the folks that are already subscribed, they're going to continue to watch it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's fine.
I'm also. Should I do a Charles? I was thinking of doing a seminar on videos and like what to do, and YouTube channel 101, we'll call it. Would that be something that those that are in the chat that create content would be interested? Not that I'm any expert. It's not like I have 1 million subscribers or anything, but I know what not to do.
I think it would be helpful to have that kind of look, and that look at there. How many people are sitting here in the chat that they don't create their own videos but would like to?
Right. Well, that's the thing, and for what the amount of advice, because I have advice that I don't even follow myself that I know will work, but I don't have the infrastructure to do. But if it is something, reach out to me. Awesome. I don't even have one of those. Apparently, I'm easy on Ryan's eyes. Okay.
That's going to make this an awkward show tonight.
I don't know what to say about that.
Oh, this just in.
Yep. All right. Well, we can set one of those up, Charles. I say like do a Zoom hang for that, type thing, or like it would be an off-air thing. Like it won't be a series of public videos or anything like that, but it would be an off-air thing.
Well, in we could do it, and we could record it, and if you like it, then we get it. We could put it out. You could put it out as a video.
We could. So there is that idea. Well, that's true, Terry, as well. Some people just do it as a hobby. Some people do it as a business.
Mm-hmm.
I just look at it as you're making home movies for my friends, in many ways. Although I will say that's one habit I've tried to work on with some people is because some people will talk to just their core audience that are already subbed. I'm just saying because he'll always welcome back or here's what we're doing. Some people are finding your channel. You got to remember, every single video you put out could possibly be someone's first introduction to you.
Right.
So, it's hi, state your name, and then dig in. I suppose this guy, I swear I missed the first 30 seconds. He's like, and we're back. I'm like, back from what? 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 Huh? Yeah, so I shrug, but I get it, But I didn't know, and you're not the only one, Charles. Like, there's a few other channels, like not even guitar channels that I've watched, and they're new, and they're just talking to that core 200 people.
Right.
Call. I was like, yeah, but you got to talk to the millions that aren't.
And that's kind of the thing of the viewpoint I had on it is like you were talking about. I consider you're making videos for your friends, right? And so you assume you're already your friend, right? And so, I usually tend to start with, "Hey, Charles75N here," and blah blah blah, and then go into last time, But you're right; it's that idea with someone's already been watching, and that's one of the things I kind of need to work on more. The other thing I need to work on is I need to actually ask people to sub the channel.
Yes, well, and because YouTube picks up on these words, they want to hear like, share, subscribe in the first minute of a video, for instance. They like to hear a greeting. They like to hear the channel name. Because also, you got to remember, whatever you say into the microphone gets picked up like tag words, especially in the first minute or two of video. That's why they don't want any cussing in the first minute.
So Janice is going to go live on Twitch.
I've never used Twitch. I don't know what is. I know of it.
Twitch is kind of like the YouTube of younger people.
Well, that's why I'm not there, because I don't like younger people.
It allows you to do something.
Enough of them don't play guitar, Charles. That's why I don't like them.
When YouTube started changing rules, a lot of people went to Twitch, and there's some things you can do on Twitch that you can't do on YouTube.
Right. No.
So she's got 32 followers on Twitch, and so she says she needs to start streaming. Go ahead and go for it, Janice. Go ahead.
Yep. That's the other thing. Yeah, you can't watch everybody.
No, you can't.
When you put out content, don't expect everybody to watch your content, because there is only so many hours in the day. And everybody's going to reach a point where they can't. Sort of like, let's say, like Charles might subscribe to me, and then 6 months down the road decides he starts putting out content. I may not be aware of it. And then it's like, hey, Ben, I totally showed you out my video. Major influence. All you didn't even take the time to watch and comment. It's like, Charles, I didn't know you put out content. And
that's true.
But also, you can't also expect other people to watch in that respect. Like, that's like, okay, we go, it's like, Charles, we do a show together. Your band and my band play a show together. Well, you can't expect me to be a fan of your band going forward and buy all your merch, type thing.
That's true.
So, but let a fella know if you start creating content too, so I can check it out, because that's something I don't know.
So how do you think people should? I've always been kind of worried about that though. When you're in another channel, and how do you bring up that you've got a channel? Because like it seems to be almost kind of rude if you're pushing your channel in the middle of someone else.
Well, it is bad. Unless you have permission of the channel host, which I recommend. Okay. Now, again, this is just me. Let's take Herb here. Herb's starting to put out some content, right? So what Herb should do is you go to, a channel who you consider a friend, as well. You just don't do it to some stranger. Hey, can I promote on your channel? No. But, we all have a contact email, Charles. So you email a fella, right? And you say, hey, I'm starting to put out some content. Like I noticed you commented on it, Charles. I put out a video and you saw. Would it be okay if on your show tonight or tomorrow night or whatever that I can just mention in the chat, and then chances are, especially if you've seen it and you enjoy it, that gives me a chance to let me go check it out first, because if it's absolute shite, I might advertise it once, as a friend, but like, especially you don't know what it is.
Right.
What if I go there and you're promoting a lifestyle choice that I am very adamant against? Whether I don't, something evil. We'll just say, not that Herb's evil. Herb's a great guy, but we're just using Herb as, because it might be something you're like, I don't want to be associated with that at all. So that would be a no. And then you play, no, I prefer if you didn't. Blah blah blah. But you generally, if it's friends, or a lot of times it'll be like, hey, I know Herb's putting out content, so I'll shout him out from the chat. But never, hey, watch it. Or another bad thing is people that will say someone else is live at the same time in a chat.
Yeah.
Never do that, folks. Never say someone else is live at the same time. That's like literally, going to a concert and in between songs yelling, at Charles's band, I'll say, hey, Iron Maiden's playing across the street and they're kicking ass. Free show.
So Dave is saying you're going to have an awesome show tonight. He's looking forward to it.
Dave's going to be heavily medicated, so no matter what I do, he thinks it's a great show. That's great, man. I didn't even start yet. Yeah, it's great. And thank you for. I don't know who's in the chat that doesn't already know who I am.
Here you go, Ben.
Really, Bo? Really?
I'm thinking Bo could probably do 2 years of show of just showing off gear without stopping. Right 2 years solid every day.
I was thinking about that. During lockdown, it was more on Facebook, but Dave Nesdall did a thing called This Guitar Right Here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was he'd pull a guitar right. This guitar right here, and you talk about it for a few minutes. Bo. Guitars, amps, all of it. This right here, first it's easy, Bo. You can do like 8 episodes on amps, and all you have to do is this amp right here, because we've seen the setup. And you can tell a story about it and this and that. I think that would be great.
It would be. I think there's a lot of folks that are out there in the community that would have some really awesome content.
Yep. Well, yeah. We're partially spoiled because of the Water Buffalo meetings. We know how many of these people are characters.
Yes, for sure.
Like Ryan Hall. I am so happy he started putting out content.
Yes.
I'm going to embarrass him, but he's pushed me as a player. And again, we'll talk about that tonight, about how. Are those a couple of amp pegs back there? Where? No, I have no amp pegs.
Nope. So, L&M Guitar Corner said they would definitely watch that Bo concept channel.
It does take balls to put yourself out there, Wayne.
Yeah,
sure. It's like on Monday nights, Charles, I try not to think about what I'm doing because I would say, what would be the hardest gig in the world to play? You're playing to a room full of musicians.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone's so supportive, And if someone comes in, oh, you suck. I want to hear Eddie Van Halen. Well, go watch an Eddie Van Halen video. I'm not Eddie. And remember, Charles, I don't play songs badly. I just play them different enough to avoid copyright.
Oh, I just play them badly.
Yeah. Well, and I like it. I'll just start playing a thing, and someone will say, "Hey, are you playing this song?" I'm like, "Is that what you heard? That's what I'm playing."
That's what I'm playing.
It takes balls to put yourself out there, anyways, Wayne. Especially, the guitar community is funny. I'd say there's a lot more positivity than negativity.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because I get more positive comments than negative from non-subscribers. Oh no, I get a lot of negative. You think you're funny? Yes.
Yes, I
do. Tune the guitar. I did. Fender doesn't know how to cut the nut. That's not my. That's no. I don't like your camera angle because I can't see the guitar while you're playing it.
I've never heard that one before.
You're a guitar. You don't buy a guitar for looks. You buy it for sound. Looks do enter the equation, Charles, but it's not. I'm taking the pink one over the blue one because it looks better, even though it sounds worse. You're not doing that. I won't be tough on you at all, Ryan. We're going to have a fun time tonight. Because personally, I know that. That's like someone getting up on stage. Bo knows what I'm talking about. Someone getting up on stage that maybe doesn't have a lot of experience. They're rather nervous. No matter what you do, Charles, we're going to play around you and make you sound good. That too.
Like that.
Yeah.
It's a good backup.
Yeah, that's true. It's like one guy, I was doing a repair video. Oh, it's on one of my Music Man videos. Be doing a setup, whatever, right? And the guy's like, would have been nice to have some close-up shots of the various parts you're working on, blah, blah. I'm like, so I left the comment up, Charles, and I said, I'm sorry I didn't spend thousands of dollars on a multi-cam production, but I guess you get what you pay for, and I believe you got to watch the video for free.
Oh.
And P.S., I do know what I'm talking about, because he's like, there was nothing educational about this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, first of all, it's the video where I'm changing string gauge. How much education do you want? I'm putting on thicker strings because I think it's going to sound thicker. There's your education.
I find that anyone that leaves a negative comment on a video was just looking to leave a negative comment about anything, right?
Yeah. Clearly they're sad, angry people. Yeah. Because I don't know, do you drive down the street and you just see someone walking down the street, let's say with a funny looking shirt, you don't roll down the window, hey asshole, your shirt looks funny. You don't do that. Because why? We're nice humans.
Right.
Well, I might do it if I know the guy. And I would do it because I know the guy, right? So they're like, who? What?
The funny thing that I find about like my videos, I don't pretend to be a good guitar player. I don't even pretend to know what I'm doing, right? I mean, right. I think that comes pretty clear across in my videos, and of course, most of my videos are, if very few am I just showing off a piece of gear. It's usually something that I'm working on, or if I get one of my amps, right? It's like, okay, great. And so I had this one probably the worst comment I've gotten on one of my videos was, this guy has all these great guitars and he doesn't know how to play them. What a waste.
Yep.
I was like, and that hurt. It was like, I'm not pretending like I know. Right?
Don't let that bother you. And I can say it because I get the exact same comments on my videos. Like I told you a couple weeks ago, it was a demo I shot in here, and the guy said, "Why don't you sell one of those boutique amps behind you and get some lessons?" And I'm like, first of all, what boutique amps are you looking at? Because I have a Fender, a Marshall, and a bunch of low-end Canadian solid state stuff. So, really, Bo? Are we going to go there? I just hearing Bo when he was doing a rant about his band back then, and he also he goes, "I used to have hair."
Yes.
I just laughed at that. So yes, I get all the time. Like you will. I love my fun. You will never make a dime playing music. Now, and Charles, I've always had a bit of a business side of things when it came to the music business. And, literally, if we look it up, I've made thousands of dollars from making music.
Right.
And that's before I even started a YouTube channel. I'm just saying, like to toot my own horn,
And that comment's coming from somebody that's probably never stepped in front of anybody and played.
And the funny part, if you click on the name and go to their channel, no content.
Yeah.
I could carefully read, delete, and move on. Well, not even delete. Read, hide user, so they'll still comment raging on all your videos. Because the best part is, Charles, if I come across your video, right, and I don't like it, and I'm going to give it a thumbs down, and I'm going to leave a comment going, "Charles, you're a poopy head." Well, guess what? YouTube thinks I love you because I watched your video. I interacted with it multiple times by hitting the like and the comment and stuff. So they're like, Ben loves Charles. We're going to put all the Charles on the homepage.
Well, the only thing is there's that interaction here, whether it be positive or negative, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. YouTube, the algorithm just somebody is interacting with this content creator.
The worst thing you could do to somebody is stop watching the video, not thumbs up or down, not and not comment.
Watch less than half the video and don't interact with the video at all other than clicking the X. But if you watch more than 50% of a video, YouTube thinks you like the content creator. You hit that like or unlike, they really think you enjoy it. And then if you comment too, they think this is your new favorite channel and they're just going to promote the bejesus out of it to you.
But I tell you, then you get those comments that are really great. I did the Biker Strat series.
Yes.
And there is a guy out there, his what is this YouTube name? It's Prophet something. And he has this Ibanez gem that when he bought it, the guy before him had taken the fabric off it because it was one of those fabric top ones. And
can I find out who the original owner was and punch him right in the throat? Because that's like the stupidest thing you could ever do because that guitar is worth a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, hence why this guy took it off his hands because, right? And he spent a long time finding the fabric and finally, has located the right fabric and is talking about he wants to go ahead and retop it. And so he found me on my recent biker skeleton Stratocaster.
That's 2 for 2 there. That's 2 for 2.
A video series. And so I think he started with maybe video 2. And so this is exactly what I've been looking for, because now I think I can do this. Right. And he's like, and I saw he left this comment, thanking me for the video and telling you all about his plan. And I was like, hey, if you never need anything, just reach out. Here's the the emails on the channel. And so one of those things, it's just kind of one of those things. And then I did the last video in the series, and then he's been watching all my videos now. It's like kind of going back and forth. So but getting a comment like that, it's something this is exactly what I've been looking for. You really seem to know, you really know what you're doing here. I think I can take this on now. Those are the ones that really make you feel great.
I told you, my most hated video on my channel is by Joe Pass signature or demo, because Joe Pass, jazz player. I don't play electric jazz. I play rockabilly, and that video has had well over 100 people hidden on my channel just from that video alone. Because it's like, the jazz crowd is not a forgiving crowd, Charles.
No,
they don't find any humor in life. They're a bunch of sad, bitter people. I think it's because they're forced to play jazz all day and nobody gives a flying fuck about them as a community anymore. So then a guy said, hey, I'm a rockabilly player. I'm trying to decide between a Gretsch and this guitar. Thank you for making this video. And he did this whole long thing about why it was awesome and this and that and different from everyone else. And I'm like, you know what, Charles? I'm pinning that comment. So all the haters will have to scroll past that comment before they... And guess what? I haven't had a negative comment on the video since.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I love that. Ben, there was something that I wanted to share with you, because we've kind of been talking about this a little bit here and there. Whenever I'll tell someone, hey, go to my YouTube channel and grab the email. Right.
You're going to show me where the email is still.
Right. Because here, what they've done, used to be on your about tab.
Yeah, they got rid of the about
any longer. So now this is on your main page here.
Sure.
When you come over on this.
Hey, Boomster! I was just talking about you the other day.
Yeah, we were. How you doing? Hold on.
I was talking with Charles.
Yeah, we were talking about, we hadn't seen you in a while. We were wondering how you're doing. It's good to see you.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes. How that is weird, right?
That's it's weird.
But anyway, when you come up here where the information about the person's channel is. Okay. On the main page. If you click this arrow down here,
right.
You get this, and now, if the person has already put their email address in, it will be there. So so what they did is they migrated that information from the About the Channel page onto your front page. So it's still there. But there are a lot of people that hadn't had their email on it. So if they don't.
Right. Right. Yeah, and it's like they also got rid of if you have your subscriptions list public. It used to be you could go to someone's channel and see all the channels they were subscribed to. That's the word I'm looking for. But again, because they're making it harder to find fellow channels. Like it used to be, if you did a search on YouTube, there was a filter for channel. So because if you're searching by channel name as opposed to, yeah.
So here you go, Ben.
All right, I play that. That's cool. I don't. Jazz, rock, classical. Aha. Okay. Yeah. I dabble in the classic, just a touch. I really got to revisit that a lot. That's why I have a classical guitar again, for that exact reason. Get back to my roots, in many ways, which is not actually. Let's be honest, my roots really is Memphis rockabilly, because that's what I grew up with my dad playing. So that's technically my roots. But then I did classical in high school.
And that was when I think back to all the guitar stuff I heard early on, and stuff that made me want to have this idea that I wanted to play guitar in the background, in the back of my head. It is. It's all that rockabilly stuff. It really is. It's the Scotty Moore. It's the Buddy Holly. It's
Mm-hmm.
all those.
We did?
How?
The jazz community is rather bitter, but I think that's because their music form's dying.
We are very glad to see you back, my friend. We're very glad to see you. We've been missing you.
I've seen the stuff on your channel. Hey, Gear Junkie 35.
Hello there.
Yeah.
Oh, this is cool. Went to a jazz brunch where the guitarist played his son's Warlock.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, as long as it's got a neck pickup, right? You're good to go.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Yeah. Wow. Nice. So what do you got planned coming up on the channel, Charles?
Well, it looks like it's warming up here, so looks like it is 58 degrees. So
we are shooting clear.
We are going to be shooting clear, both on the Warlock and on the Charles Green guitar. I have here there may be a project coming from Guitar Man 45 with the guitar involving Rush t-shirts. Right. So looking forward to that. I have a Telecaster that I'll be doing with an eagle motif for my older brother.
Okay.
Coming up.
Patriotic.
I've got a Strat body that I've been meaning to fabric top for a long time, but you
have a lot of bodies you've been meaning to fabric top for a long time.
So that needs to get some fabric on it. So we're going to do a fabric shopping episode for that one. Because I want to go find something that's going to work for that. And after doing that biker Strat telly, biker skeleton Strat. After doing that, I really am a big fan of putting the fabric underneath a clear pickguard.
I'm digging that too, and I like that when you with the Strat project, how you showed it with the white, and then you showed it with the clear as well, and it looked okay with but it looked better with the clear.
Yeah, it looked good with the white pickguard, but it was like it felt to me like it was missing something. And when I've been looking at that whole design all that time, and I was like, yeah, it just would be. And so that was something that I had wanted to try on a project for a long time, and I had the clear pickguard on hand.
Mm-hmm. I think John brought up a good point here. He says, I think the negative element of the guitar community all found each other a few years ago and splintered off. Good riddance. Truth.
Yeah, I think so too. That's true. That is true.
Yep. I get by. But it's like I always said, guitar, it's easy to play. It's hard to play well. Because the basics of it, you work on diligently within a year. You can be strumming cowboy chords along with your favorite songs. Mm-hmm. But then they say, take the lead, Charles. You're like, rather not, Ben.
It's not happening.
That's a little different, right? So,
well, that's funny. And there's like things that that in this community you can go ahead and share things, and it's like, and so when I sent you the horse with no name clip,
mm-hmm.
right, and I sent it to you and I sent it to Seth, and I was like, okay, I'm going to sit there because what I said, this year is the year to actually learn to play a whole lot better, and I'm going to put the time into it. And so when Seth said, well, you need to learn the song, so next day I picked up the guitar, I looked at a couple lessons, and I learned how to play it. And so I sent it to you and I sent it to him, and you were like, yeah, it kind of sounds like this.
But you didn't tell me that's what you were trying to play either. But that's a good thing, because I was able to notice what it was. And it was just because the rhythm was slightly off, but it was like 90% there. And that's why I was like, you playing Horse with No Name? Because it sounds like you're playing Horse with No Name.
Yeah, like, I was also trying to do something a little bit with it in the middle, right? Because you get...
Right. I think that's what was throwing me off.
Yeah, because without the vocals, it's just like, okay, the same thing over and over again. And so I was like, my mind wanted to put something else in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, but the
sure.
thing is, I know I can record that and I can send it out to you guys, and
Yep.
and I'll get some feedback that's going to help me.
Well, and I'm never going to just blow smoke up your ass either.
Yeah.
Oh, the best playing I've ever heard in my life. You don't need to hear that because then you rest on your laurels.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's good, I'll tell you it's good. And if it's bad, I'll say you could do a little better. And strumming is everything, Martin.
Yeah.
Remember, guitar solo is only like 18 seconds of a song. The rest of it's all the strumming. Rhythm is everything. If you can't play rhythm, you will never be in a band.
And
because what do you do? Have you just stand there, Charles, until it's time to take the lead break, and they pay you just to stand there taking lead breaks? No, it's not going to happen.
And Martin agrees with you absolutely. And so, but and the thing is, what I love about being on something, I know that you're going to tell me, like, I've sent you clips before, and you say, okay, try doing this instead, and it's like a lesson. It ends up becoming like a lesson because, okay, you're telling me, I can tell you're doing this. Try this.
Yeah, and I can see where you're struggling in that because you and we both have hand issues.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I say, I can't cross my fingers anymore, folks. It's not an option.
I still thought you were going to flip me off right there.
No, I don't mean to ever flip anybody off. Well, I flipped off Zach Thong on my live stream the other night, but that's because he told me Eddie Kramer was at the local on McQuaid, and nobody told me. So,
yeah, that was wrong.
Yeah, it was, and especially found out later it wasn't even Eddie. He was just told that Eddie was there earlier.
Yeah,
we're all on a journey, exactly. And remember, it's art; it's not a competition. I'm not sure what Motor City Spirit Injection is, but that sounds like a shot of something, or
maybe it's a new strain he's working on.
Maybe I could be that too. Right?
With Bo, you never know.
Right. Permanent marker. I just want to smell that one. Does it smell like the permanent markers back there? Woo! All the chemicals. I don't know. So we got you got future. Okay, so we got some projects on the go. I'm guessing you don't have future guests line up weeks in advance. We know Sean will be appearing at some point.
We have so we know that we're going to get Sean to come on. The River Docs is coming up in a couple weeks.
Nice.
So we've got.
I had him first, Charles. No, I just had to say that.
I knew that was coming. I intend on having Terry 3Gs.
That'll be fun.
Come on soon. I've been wanting to do that one for a while.
He'll set his alarm, so he'll be awake.
So we've gone ahead, and that invite is an open invite to him. And as a matter of fact, I already have his thumbnail made. I have his back, his thumbnail made, his the intro outro clip that I put together. You know how I change them every week.
Yep.
With that's all made. So we're ready to go for Terry to be on any time. So I'm just saying. We'd love to do a episode with Guitar Man 45. I'd love to do one with
BC Rich 581. Yep. I've had him on part of Group Hang, as I recall, a couple of times, including over on Nestal's channel too.
He has BC Rich 581 just has the greatest wit, and you never know what's going to come out. And
he's my favorite YouTube troll because he's been trolling me for about 5 years in the chats, but it's the best one-liners ever. And I'm giggling every time, so I love it.
But him and Michael Krause, right? They're the ones that they could.
The two of them. Although last night it was you and Ryan Hall all over it. I thought you guys were my friends.
We are.
Yeah.
And but no, there's a lot going on here, a lot of fun. What I will tell you is, if you do want to be an episode of Chatting with Charles, you now know where to find the email. Just send an email.
The guy refuses to put his email in the chat ever. You say, you hit me up there. Have your people contact my people.
Well, it's definitely just because of you never know who's going to be just pulling something out of the chat, watching it later or whatever. But
wow. Okay, Keith. Ben's song to learn half hour before the show this week. Tusk. That's not an easy one. All right. So I forgot to learn a song for last Monday's show, and they said I was going to learn one, so we ended up figuring out Cinnamon Girl half an hour before the show started.
See, this is what we mean when we talk about DC.
And I've already transposed it, so I don't have to play it in Dadgad either. We love you too, Ryan. Well, it would be a whole series. That's true.
For sure.
Well,
oh.
Other than that, I don't know what.
Whole new series. Yeah, you'd have to have your own serial show,
right? I'm just waiting until Bo gets the fiber hooked up because the government listens in and they like to throttle his internet every time he gets to something good. Because what was it? The last Water Buffalo meeting, Charles, was like 4 occasions. He's talking away, and as soon as he gets to the good part, it walks up.
Oh yeah, it's never any of the side stuff, right? It's never, but it's always when you get to the meat of whatever it is.
It's like when the vital information is about to come out, it does it, and then when it unfreezes it, Charles, and that's all I got to say about that. You're like, wait, no, we don't know. And then when he would try to repeat, it would lock up at the same point. That's why he wants the government.
It's like they did not want information out.
Yeah,
it's so funny. Well, so we know that tonight we've got Ryan Hall on.
We do.
Yeah, and folks, you better go over there. You better check this out. This is going to be.
I think everyone here subscribed.
And so
next week I got Mr. BHB, Bruce.
Bruce,
don't even say you had him first because I had him back in 2018. So easy.
Well, see, I haven't had him on yet, and I was gonna. The funny thing was, he was gonna be my next invite.
Right.
And then, I got Bruce on.
Well, that's because Bruce messaged me. He goes, so when am I coming on for a show? One-on-one. I'm like, all right. And then some guy named RJ Ronquillo in a couple of weeks.
Very nice.
Well, I hear he's good. He's got his own picks for some reason.
Heard he can play.
Yeah, a little bit. There we go. RJ. Other than that, then I got to start booking out through February. I'm waiting till that NAMM thing's finished up, so because people are on the road doing things.
Yeah.
Well, and then I still got to reach out to Bukovac. I've been meaning to do that for a couple of things. Also, because I want to see if he knows where I can move this amp. He's friends with Willie. That's real. I want to go to Willie.
Is that what that is?
Well, that was Dad's plan back in the day. All through the 80s, he always said, if you're going to get rid of it, just contact Willie's people. Because Willie, in every interview, he'd say, if anyone's got a Baldwin Professional, hit a fella up. Because he was snagging all of them. Because he still gigs with a Baldwin Professional. Things haven't been made. Things older than me. Possibly older than you.
Does it work? Does it? Or have you
the reverb does not work. The reverb has infinite reverb. Because it's got a broken.
So it's got all the reverb.
It's got all the reverb.
All the reverb all the time.
All the reverb all the time. So on that, Other than that, got some more acoustic demos coming out this week, which are okay. I'm waiting for them to get a new amp that I can use at Long McQuaid. You're like, what? They don't have any amps over there? They do. But I found a Fender Princeton works with the digitals and the camera and the YouTube with the compression. It just they sounded best. A real Princeton all tube. There's one on order. Apparently Fender, I don't know. They got like 2 people working at Fender building amps these days. I don't know because it's been on order for weeks.
Of course.
Perfect. Love it. So we do have a week from yesterday Zoom hang Water Buffalo meeting this coming Saturday. Charles, I'm just saying, this is the first Saturday of the month.
That is true. I will work up a Zoom meeting for you.
I'll try to promote it and stuff.
I love how there's the little reactions.
And Dave Chase can actually attend and not be watching Seth play live, which was nice. He watched Seth play live, but then all of a sudden he saw the post. He's, I missed the meeting. I'm like, well, you were watching him.
True. Here you go.
And the ovations. Yeah, Bo in the ovation. Yeah, Ryan has been. I noticed he mentioned that last night on Tony's show too. Well, let's see the ovations.
There you go.
There we are. Yeah, as the opposite when Ryan was on with you. Hey, can you please on right? Right off camera, like it was set up. Like, come on. Yeah. Oh, I just have to have a tune right here. Yeah.
Well, the biggest shock for me was when Ryan came into the green room, right?
Yeah.
And he's got sleeves. I'm like, right. When did this happen?
That's also the over-under whether or not he'll have sleeves tonight. I'm not sure. I am not sure. So, but we'll have fun. It's going to be a nice, chill conversation, I think. And I have a feeling Ryan's going to interview me as much as I interview him tonight, much like this show here. And John always sees the email. Well, and John does set the record as first person to fall asleep on one of the Zoom hangs. But in all fairness, it was like 4:30 in the morning for him.
His time. Yeah.
But he's not the last. I'm just looking at several people in the chat right here that have fallen asleep. I almost fell asleep once. Having a recording seminar this Saturday, so I may not be able to make it. I need to get a better DAW to record all the old digital gear before I have videos which I have trained. All right. Mother made him. And I love how Ryan just substitutes other spellings of words.
Yes.
You know what he's saying without knowing what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, last meeting, Dwight, do we have time to show one more, Ben? Yes.
Oh, yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
I think that's the first time we've ever heard Bo say, I don't have one of those.
Oh, no, it was the line when he pulled out one and Bo under his breath goes, now I got to be nice to my wife.
Yeah.
Oof. Oof. You were almost falling asleep on the 5150 show. That's true. And Dave says, my first hang, Ryan slept straight through. He slept straight through like a baby. He slept straight through, Charles.
That's because he's so comfortable with us.
Yeah. No, how was Ryan today? Oh, he slept straight through. It sounds like you're coming home. The babysitter's like, how was Ryan? Really? I'm gonna say different. Well, I saw the chest with the like, unless you were hyperventilating with your eyes closed,
To be fair, this was the day. That was the day he did all that work.
Well, I don't think he had slept either. I think he'd been up all night. His mom wasn't doing too well. So now, on the other hand, I watched Bo say, I got to pick up my wife in 45 minutes, proceed to then fall asleep in his chair. So, which reminded me of my father, because my father would do that. Oh, I got to leave in an hour? Well, that leaves me 45 minutes to power nap before I go out. So, I don't know if Keith's fallen asleep yet. It's hard to tell. At times, Keith was just listening in at times. Terry has not fallen asleep yet. Sadly, Ryan was pilot. See, this is the lines. This is why I love BC Rich 581. He's got this sadistic side that I love. It
is too much.
It is.
Well, Ben, we've been going about an hour and a half here.
I noticed that. I'm like, oof. Okay, yeah. Well, Laz isn't live, so we're filling in for Laz. I just realized I still need to go out and do some grocery shopping, and I don't know what time Pete's on today. He might be alive in about an hour, so
yeah.
Well,
let's go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you for coming on and being me.
You said being me, not mean, right?
I said me.
Okay. Thank you for coming on and being mean. Well, right, no, that was the other night on Presley, playing with Presley's, where I just came in hot.
Oh yeah,
you guys started without me, and then you're like, "Hey, look who showed up!" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just here to hear you play." And you went, "Oof, you did that." I always turn. I don't even drive with the radio on anymore. Laz can stalk Mary. No thanks. Pass. Anyways, nice lady.
Well, thank you for coming. Everybody, thank you for being here.
Great crowd. They kept it going as much as anything else.
We're at an hour and a half. We still have 31 people.
Beautiful. Come in, watch tonight. We got Ryan Hall, y'all. We're going to be talking about this, that, and the other thing. Similar experiences growing up. And so you're like, what? You grew up in the deep south? Well, I'm in southern Canada, Charles. It doesn't get much more south than where I am. So thank you, John. Thank you,
Thank you, Rob.
Sorry, Devil's Horn, Alien Head, Rob Blackmore official.
All right, and make sure that you go over and you see Ben and Ryan Hall.
Y'all. I have to say that now. I just can't help it. You know, there's another apparently weatherman that goes by Ryan Hall, y'all, but he's not. No, I heard him once. He doesn't talk like Ryan talks. Ryan owns the y'all.
All right. With that, we'll see you next week. We'll see you tonight on Ben's show.
You guys' hands.
And have a good one, folks.
But like the Queen. Goodbye.